YouTube? It's your girl Vanity V. Hope you guys are all doing well. First and foremost, before we get into the Reesa Teesa of it all, my apologies, y'all. I have been so absent on this channel. I've had so much going on in my personal life, and then, I kind of been focused a little more on my other YouTube channel, but this has sparked me wanting to come back and talk to y'all. And it is the Reesa Teesa saga that never ends, okay? In case you have been living under a rock, we're going to get into it. I want to give you guys my commentary, my thoughts on all of it, because I have not seen a crazier story situation so you know when things leave you speechless and you're just like, what? I had, towards the very end of this 50-part series that she did, which I cannot believe that I listened to all of it. I had to just stop, because I appreciate her for her honesty. I was giving her grace, but then towards the end, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop because now it's just too much, right? So anyway, just to give you guys the cliff notes, in case you don't know, Reesa Teesa is a woman, I'm assuming probably in her late 30s, early 40s in Atlanta. She is a heavier set woman who has been getting criticism, commentary, everything for sharing her story, which is titled, Who the F Did I Marry? Okay. Basically, just to sum that up, she's chronicling literally from the moment she met this F-boy to the moment that she divorced him, found out 5011, and when I say 5011, I mean 5011 things about this man that are insane, that kind of came out immediately, and it just shows dang, sometimes you really don't know who you marry. However, a lot of the criticism that Reesa Teesa is getting, and I'm gonna keep it real, there were red flags about this man on the onset of the relationship. And it sparks a bigger debate on women specifically, because I think men are better at navigating this kind of stuff. Men don't take as much BS in relationships that women do. So I'm specifically going to talk to the ladies about how we ignore red flags, and I'm not going to act like I'm not guilty of it. And the reason why I really wanted to talk to y'all is because I think there is some Reesa Teesa in all of us. Maybe not to the degree of this situation, but I do think that all of us, every woman, I don't care if you can not keep it real if you don't want to, we have all been a little Reesa Teesa before. Okay, and what I mean by that is tolerating cheating, tolerating physical abuse, tolerating emotional abuse, tolerating someone who's not putting in maximum effort, there's so many things that you tolerate for a plethora of reasons, right? It could be you don't want to be alone. It could be you've invested a lot of time in the person. It could be a lot of why you decide to stay in a situation. But I really just wanted to talk about this because I've just never seen anything like this. So just to start out, because literally from her whole chronicling of the Who the F Did I Marry is 7 hours long. So obviously I cannot, that's a whole Married to Medicine series damn near. So I can't touch on everything, but I want to focus on the fact that a lot of times women, we ignore blaring and glaring red flags in the beginning that we know damn well we should not be ignoring, and we act like it's not a big deal because we don't want to be by ourselves. So Reesa meets this dude. She meets him on, I think she said Hinge or Bumble or whatever the website is, and she meets him. He seems nice. They start conversing, all of that, whatever, right? And then they decide to go on their first date. She talks about on her way to the first date that her car blew out, that one of the tires blew out. She calls him, he comes and rescues her like a damsel in distress, which is cool, because that would have made me enamored with him a little bit. Dang, I called him, he made sure, because every man may not do that. He may have been like, well, I'm, called AAA or whatever, but he came, fixed her tire, got her on her way. They went to the restaurant. They ended up talking after. The first interactions with him were great. Now, what I also want to preface is, y'all, this was literally, she met him in the midst of the beginning of COVID. Like, I want to say she said February or March of 2020. So then, COVID happens. They, stuff starts shutting down. Her first mistake, this lady and him decided to quarantine together after knowing each other for like 2 weeks. Mistake number one. And you know what's crazy? Reesa Teesa, I'm not even about to get at you so much because a lot of y'all heifers did that. And not even women, a lot of men, a lot of you were quarantining with people that you did not even know. And just because we were shut down, it did not mean that you needed to quarantine with an absolute stranger, okay? You did not need to do that to get to know him. So that was mistake number one. That was a red flag on behalf of both of them. So both of them made major mistakes in this situation. So they quarantined together after not even knowing each other. He could have been a whole serial killer. You could have been a whole serial killer. You decided to move in with him. I mean, that was just crazy. So then everything is kind of going good. I think that she said her family wasn't really happy with the fact that she moved in with him off top, which whose mama or dad would be happy about that. And then they just started, everything was on maximum speed. Like they started, talking about marriage, talking about, she lived in a part, they live in the Atlanta area. And so she started talking about the fact that, look, I don't really love where I live. He's telling her that he played in the Arena League football, that he went to San Diego State. He's selling her a dream, y'all, that was a total lie. Oh, I have offshore accounts with hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars. First of all, my ex-boyfriend from college played arena football. Everybody knows, with a little Google search, people that play arena football don't make no money. The average citizen that makes six figures makes more than an arena football player. So the biggest mistake that Reesa Teesa made, she never Googled this man. Ladies and men, Google the person. If you start dating somebody and you like them and things are starting to progress, I'm going to need you to Google people. I'm not necessarily saying you have to order a whole background investigation, but you definitely need to do a Google search, because a quick Google search on whatever arena team that, he said he played for would have told you he wasn't on the roster. You wouldn't have seen him. She should have Googled him. It would have told her where he lived. She didn't do that. So that's mistake number one. Okay. So back to this guy, he's selling her dream, making her think that he has all of this money. And then, she's enamored with him because he swoops in like, Prince Charming, starts paying all the bills in the house, tells her he's making like $250,000 a year. And as a woman, and me personally, I've never had a man that has paid all of my bills. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, I got big girl bills. So I would be intoxicated with that too. So I can see, how that could maybe blind you a little bit. Well, dang, he swooped in, we moved in too damn fast. However, he's paying all of my bills, right? So then first thing happens where they decide to buy a home together. Well, she gets pregnant. Off top, I think she got pregnant within a month or two of him moving in. And then in the midst of her finding out she's pregnant, they're like, well, we don't want to have the baby here. So they start looking for homes. So this was the first red flag, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. This is when I would have kicked him to the curb and be like, okay, so he's quite possibly a pathological liar. And this is when she should have ran. To make a long story short, they start looking for homes. They find a house that they like. He tells her he's pre-approved for like $750,000. Of course, she's like, well, damn, like I can't afford a $750,000 house. He's like, I got it. You don't got to worry about it. Of course, it's all a lie. They find a house that's around $750,000. He tells her that he put an offer in on the house. And then the realtor, comes back because he really didn't, obviously, he did not put an offer in the house. So the realtor somehow calls Reesa Teesa and is like, are y'all putting an offer in or whatever? And then so she's like, well, I thought, she calls him Legion. I thought Legion put the offer in. And then the realtor's like, no, he never put an offer in on the house. And so when Reesa Teesa confronts Legion about it, of course, as a true narcissist, because I do believe this man is a narcissist and a psychopath, like for real. He gets mad at her and defensive, like, why are you running behind me, checking things? To make a long story short, y'all, he continues to lie to her. Then he tells her he got another realtor that's taking care of it, that is his friend. She checks on Zillow, the house is under contract, right? So she's like thinking like, oh, it's under contract. He said he put an offer in. Yay. So she's thinking, that the house is under contract for us. So then she's like, well, when are we doing the inspection? And so because clearly everything's a lie. So then he's like, oh, he's making up excuses. Well, because of COVID, we can't do inspection, da 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 da. He continues to lie. She continues to check Zillow because don't lie about stuff as it pertains to real estate because it's too easy to verify, you guys. That's just a word of advice. She checks Zillow again, then the house is off the market. So she's like, what? Why is it back off the market? She calls the seller's realtor, and the seller's realtor says, oh no, we sold this to an older white couple. So then she confronts, she remained calm, and she said that I don't think she ever confronted him about it. I think he made up a lie and was like, oh, I just think something fell through with the house. So, what I'm saying? Let's look at another house. She never confronted him about that house. So again, that's beyond a red flag. That's like, why are you lying about this? This is like, now you're affecting my future, our future. I'm pregnant, all of this stuff. So that was the moment that Reesa Teesa should have got her shit and ran. Okay? She should have ran, because that's crazy. You made because when lies are premeditated and they're like well thought out and stuff, that's what makes lying's never good. But like when your lie is so scarily premeditated and you've thought it out and everything and that's what makes it really, really scary. You know what I'm saying? So she should have left then. She should have said, you know what? She should have confronted him, told him the truth. Like, I already know what time it is. You've been lying to me this whole time. For what? Because this is a stupid lie. You didn't have to do it. This is not going to work. I need you to get your things and get up out of my townhouse, because he moved in with her. So then so many things happen. I mean, when I say so many things from him lying about his family members dying, him lying about having siblings, him lying about where he works, him lying obviously about where he what else where he went to school, him lying about why he got divorced to his ex-wife, him lying about, there's so many lies that this man made. I can't even remember all of them. This man lied about his ex-wife's daughter dying, telling Reesa that, hey, I need to give my ex-wife $2,000 to help her bury her daughter that just died from COVID. Reesa reaches out to the ex-wife. The ex-wife, she didn't tell the ex-wife, because she said she didn't have the heart to actually tell the ex-wife what Legion said. But the ex-wife was like, no, my daughter's fine. Then she finds out that because he had made it seem like his relationship with the ex-wife was cordial, because he still had a good relationship with her children. The ex-wife tells Reesa Teesa, I ain't spoke to that Negro since we got divorced. I'm never speaking to him again. She finds out he never went to San Diego State. He never even lived in California. He'd never even been to the West Coast before. Lied about, I mean, the dumbest stuff, you guys. Told her that he had two sisters. Come to find out he never had any sisters. Told her that he had like a brother, two older brothers or something. Come to find out he actually has a twin brother. I mean, it's just like, lied about, during COVID, he told her, oh my God, my grandma just died from COVID. The grandma had actually died in 2008. It is just like, where, and just to kind of sum this up, because there's so many things that annoyed me, because I really was giving Reesa Teesa grace, and I was like, okay, dang, she's trying to make this work, whatever. But I started to get annoyed at the end, because it was like she became obsessed with just finding out stuff about him, and it's like, girl, you already know this man is trash. Get away from him. Like, it's over. Like, let it go. And she just continued to try to find out more and more, and then obviously, I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it, but they ended up getting, divorced and everything. But it was just like, I just couldn't believe that she allowed herself to go down the rabbit hole of like hell with this man, who ended up being a complete fraud, had been married several times, divorced several times, lied about making up social security numbers. I mean, if there was ever a fraud, his name would be next to fraud in the dictionary. It was that bad. So I say all of this to say that, again, women, we all have some Reesa Teesa in us, because we have all, and if you 90% of women, if you're honest with yourself, whether you're married, in a relationship, single, situationship, whatever type of situation, whatever type of relationship thing you have been in or you're in now, we have all tolerated things that we, that's why I'm trying not to be too judgmental on her, because we've all tolerated things that we had no business tolerating. All of us have. And we have to do better with not doing that. And I, equate it to childhood trauma that we have been through. A lot of us have abandonment issues we haven't worked through. A lot of us have just had bad dating experiences that have caused us to just stay way too long in situations that we know are not good for us. I am guilty as well. I am not trying to act like I have not done the same thing. But we have to be better at adhering to that sixth sense and listening to that sixth sense that we have within us. That's like, because sometimes there's little, there's little things that happen. And you're like, that's weird. That's odd. And, you kind of, it may not be that big of a deal, but you bookmark and you're like, okay, that's not that big of a deal, but I'm going to keep my eye on that because, something's off. But in this situation and in other situations with all of us, there are things that happen where it's like, girl, get away, because this is crazy. And I've never dated a con artist before. Luckily, I've never dated a person who has completely represented themselves in a way that is a complete lie. That's never happened to me. But also, I be Googling people. Okay, if I like you, or if I'm interested in you a little bit and we meet, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's a lot of crazy people and crazy things that happen in the world. We have to protect ourselves. I'm gonna Google you at the bare minimum to see, like, what is your criminal record? Like, have you been in trouble with the law? Google will tell you a lot about a person. Not necessarily to find out the intimate details about you, but I just want to see like what I find out there. I mean, am I going to Google you and see that you killed 10 kids in a, drunk driving accident? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see what I'm going to find out. And in the case of this guy, Legion, that she was dealing with, he was in trouble all over the place with the law. And if she had done a simple Google search, she would have saw that, like, in the beginning. So that's number one. We got to start Googling people and seeing who it is that we're dating. Okay. And then secondly, like I said, when you have these red flags that just come up, if a man is disrespecting you off the break, let it go. If he's not, if he's making plans with you and continually canceling, let it go, because that lets you know he's not interested in you. Because when a man is interested in you, he wants to spend time with you. So if he's making plans and canceling, let it go. If at night, come on. If at night, ladies, he just disappears completely. And, I'm not saying every night, but if most nights he disappears and you can't get a hold of him, it's a red flag, okay? If he never lets you come to his house, it's a red flag. I could go on and on about the red flag. It's so many things, but I'm just saying, like, we got to stop acting like we don't see this stuff, and we got to start, paying attention, because we can save our own self. It's not worth being in a situation like this, because this is crazy. And the funny part, y'all, because this story has been all over the blogs for the last month, and I was like, I am not about to watch this, because not because I wasn't interested, but because I just was like, 50 parts, I cannot. But then when I started watching, I will say I'm happy for Reesa Teesa, because one thing about her, she's an excellent storyteller. She has like a soothing voice, and I think she's been picked up by a major talent agency. So, like Funky Dineva always says, pay me for my pain. Hopefully, she can turn this into a positive. And I'm sure she has all kind of, movie studios and Lifetime and everybody wanting to do some type of deal and turn this into a series or a movie or something, because it needs to be, because that's how wild this is. And then now they say that this gentleman has come out and he's speaking out about it, which I haven't looked at any of that. But I just wanted to say this is a cautionary tale for not only her, but for all the women and for me, that we have to be better with listening to, and seeing the red flags and exiting stage left, so that we can avoid situations like this, okay? So y'all, drop down in my comments. Let me know your thoughts about this. Have you seen all of the controversy, all of the videos that Reesa Teesa has done? What are y'all's thoughts? Do you agree with me? Because again, this is a bigger picture and a bigger story outside of just Reesa Teesa. This is about all of us and how we need to take accountability for the things that we allow. And we need to do better with walking away when there is a sign that something's not right. So drop down in my comments. Let me know what you guys think. As always, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.